Morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well on this beautiful day, staying safe. I'm doing this reflection from what's called the Daily Mass Chapel. On the weekends, it's the Children's Chapel or the Cry Room. And I want to point out these statues and crucifix behind me. It's a statue of Mary and a crucifix and St. Joseph. And they are from the first church. It's now Oldinsky Hall, but it used to be the first church here. And these were brought over when the new church was built, and they are now in the Daily Mass Chapel. Today is a celebration of one of our great saints, St. Bonaventure, greatest Italian saint. He was born in the year 1221, became a Franciscan. He was noted for his great learning, and in fact, when he graduated from the University of Paris, Thomas Aquinas was one of his classmates. He became head of the Franciscan order for 17 years, and he was so influential that he's known as the second founder after St. Francis of Assisi. So he did that for 17 years, and he always was able to combine great holiness and great learning. And he always told his friars, it's great if you can be learned and holy, but holy is more important. He was eventually made bishop and then made a cardinal. And to give you a little insight into his personality, when the envoys from the Pope came to give him his red hat, he kept them waiting while he finished doing the dishes. So we celebrate this great Franciscan saint today, St. Bonaventure. But I want to say two things today about the Mass, just about the Mass in general. And let me start this way. This was given to me by someone who attends AA meetings regularly, and he said this: "It's funny, the meetings are always the same. The exact same things get said over and over again. Everything is totally predictable. Everyone, except those who are there for the first time, knows already what will be said. And we're not there to show our best sides to each other. I don't go to AA meetings to share my talents or to be a nice guy. No, I go because if I don't, I know for sure that I will start drinking again and eventually destroy myself. It is that simple. I go there to stay alive." And as I read this and heard this, I thought of the Mass, because it's kind of like that with the Mass that we go. It's always kind of the same. We're not talking about midnight Mass or the Easter Vigil. The ordinary time Mass, it's always the same. We know the hymns are often the same, and the prayers are the same, and the sermons are often the same. And yet we go because we want to stay alive. We go to the Eucharist to stay alive. We go to the Eucharist to help us stay alive in those moments of pain and suffering and the pandemic. We go to Mass to strengthen our faith and our love. We go to stay alive. St. Augustine once said about the Eucharist that we receive, he said, "Believe what you see, become what you are." And we go to Mass to stay alive so that we can have hope and faith and be Christ to others. The second thing I want to say about Mass today is that if there's a conception among the people that go to Mass that they are the audience, and that the priest and the choir director and the lector and the people in the sanctuary, they are the entertainers. And so they sit there and they say, entertain us. That's what the Mass is all about. Entertain us. And yet really what the Mass is all about is that Jesus is the audience and we are the entertainers. So we come to Mass to stay alive, and we come to Mass also in our own way to entertain Jesus, who is the audience. Well, thanks everybody. Have a good day and stay safe.